Yeah, our kids are excited to get back to Sanford Stadium and get a home game at night, and looking forward to that. And I know our guys are kind of been on the road for a while, and also been off for a while with the postponement of last week's game. So we're in a good spot. Got some guys dinged up and still not back, but Ron and his staff have done a great job helping us out with COVID precautions, and we've avoided a lot of those issues. And I know the guys are excited to get back on the field and play.
For questions, press star 1, and we'll begin with Tyler Horka of the Jackson Clarion Ledger.
Hey, Kirby. Mississippi State's got a guy, running back Kirby Smart, who obviously grew up playing pretty close to Athens. I'm just curious what you remember about watching him play in high school, if you did, and if you recruited him all, how that process went.
Yeah, he's a kid that was always on our board, really good athlete, really good catching the ball out of the backfield, extremely quick. I've always been impressed with him, and he's one of those kids that you wish you could have on your roster, because you only have so many spots, and there's so many good players in Georgia, so many people in Georgia, that Georgia supplies a lot of programs, some really good players, and he's one of them.
And then just a quick follow-up, obviously, with Kylan Hill leaving the team, Quavius has kind of become the lead guy. What have you seen on him in film from this year, and how's he look?
Well, he plays well in their system, receiving the ball out of the backfield. The runs they get, sometimes they don't get as many people in the box as most people traditionally do. So he can make one guy miss and turn a 3-4 yard run into 9-10 yard runs when they use him. But he's obviously a really good weapon out of the backfield.
Thanks, Kirby.
Next is Mike Griffith of the AJC.
Kirby, you said recently that the offense just can't become necessarily explosive overnight, that it takes time. Can you talk about some of the things that you're looking to do these last 4 games? And if it is JT, and you haven't named a quarterback yet, we're aware of that, but does he bring some different attributes to the table?
Well, in terms of becoming explosive, I don't know that I've ever said it doesn't happen overnight. I mean, it happens by execution, right? It happens by picking up blitzes and hitting open receivers. It happens by blocking downfield and making explosive runs. We finally, had an explosive run where it was like we got on the perimeter and made some things happen. So explosive plays happen. Well, you can say they happen because of lack of execution by the other team or by proper execution of your team. But we've been really close on some explosives that we've just missed or dropped, and those are things you gotta hit, and you gotta be accurate to do that. In terms of JT, since he's been here, he's done some nice things. He's a guy that's worked really hard, just as Stetson, Carson, and Dwan have done. And I'm pleased with the way he's worked. I'm pleased with the way he's rehabbed his knee and improved his knee and learning of our offense, and the leadership he's shown since he arrived has been very good. I mean, he's when you're in a room of guys without a lot of experience, he's a guy that has some experience.
Thank you.
Next is Steve Moulton of WZZN.
Hey, Coach. Good morning. Your progression offensively, I'm wondering what you've seen out of your team. Did you have a full week last week of practices? Tell me about the last week as well, Coach.
Yeah, we practice Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday. I don't know what you define as a full week, but for us, that's more than we get in a game week, because our Wednesdays and Thursdays last week were structured differently. They were not geared towards Missouri at the point we found out there wasn't a game, so they were geared towards competition and getting better and working more against our defense instead of a look squad. So that's kind of the way we did the practices.
The reason I was asking was just about the progression of the offense, and I mean, honestly, Coach, it's kind of hard to keep the COVID issues straight myself, so that's why I was asking that. But in terms of offensive progress, what have you seen out of your offense here over the last couple of weeks, Coach?
Well, every week that you run a concept or a play, you get better at it. So, the first week we ran them, a lot of times that was the first time. There was no spring game to get it wrong. There was no build up through summer. There's none of that. So every game we've run a concept, we try to get better at it. Now, the combination of what we're doing being repeated and also who we're going against in terms of the level of competition has an effect on that. I mean, you tend to have more success when you have better players than the other team, and then when it's more even, you tend to struggle more. So we're trying to execute at a high level regardless of who we play against. And when we execute at a high level, we feel comfortable. Do I think that we've improved in terms of execution? Yeah, I get to see it every day. We have less mistakes and less busts. But that has not equated to success the entire time because sometimes we miss the opportunities we've been given.
Defensively, the defensive scheme against the air raid, how different is that compared to, say, a spread offense, Coach?
It's different. I mean, you got to pick and choose what you want to do. Everybody defends the air raid differently, and you got to decide what it is you want to present to them. How many problems do you want to create? How schematically do you want to change in terms of how you play those guys?
Finally, Coach, how well do you know Coach Leach?
We're acquaintances. We've run into each other before speaking events and have shared some time since he's come in the league in terms of meetings and things like that.